video, I'll walk you through what this new US-China trade deal really means, why rare earth minerals are at the heart of it, how Chinese students got a green light while Indian students are stuck. So hi, this is Khatija and you're watching the Free Press Journal. Today's story isn't just about one announcement or one policy shift. It's about a series of power moves by US President Donald Trump that are reshaping global headlines. Well, let's start with the big picture. Donald Trump is everywhere in the news this week, and not just for one reason. Well, first, he made headlines by putting Indian student visas on hold, a sudden move that's left thousands of Indian families in total uncertainty. Visa interviews have been paused and no timeline has been offered on when or if they will resume. Then came his very public clash with Elon Musk. People are calling it a bromance gone bad. But the bigger takeaway is Trump isn't afraid to pick fights with powerful people, even in the private sector. And now the biggest of all comes, Trump's trade deal with China. A deal that's about much more than trade. It's about strategy, resources, and yes, students. So here's what actually happened. On June 11, after days of negotiations in London, Trump announced on Truth's social media that the US and China have reached a new trade agreement. The deal still needs final approval from Chinese President Xi Jinping, but Trump called it done from his side. And what's in the deal? Let's come to this point. At the core of it, rare earth minerals and magnets. These are used in electric vehicles, smartphones, semiconductors, and even fighter jets. And guess what? China controls 90% of the global supply. Earlier this year, China had imposed tight export controls on these rare earths, basically choking the supply for US manufacturers. This caused real problems. Companies like Ford had to temporarily pause some of their productions. So this deal, where China now agrees to resume full rare earth and magnet supplies to the US, is being seen as a strategic breakthrough. Now let's have a look on tariffs, who got what. Trump also confirmed that tariffs will remain at 55% for Chinese goods entering the US. In contrast, China will apply just 10% tariff on the US imports. Now that's a big gap, and critics are already saying Trump gave too much away. The US gets rare earth, strategic materials, and keeps pressure on China with higher tariffs. He called the relationship excellent. And here's where things get even more interesting. As part of this deal, Trump has agreed to allow Chinese students to continue studying in American universities. He wrote, "Chinese students using our colleges and universities, which has always been good with me." Now this might sound small, but it's a huge move. Chinese students make up one of the largest international student groups in the US and contribute over $14 billion annually to the American education economy. And don't forget, Chinese President Xi Jinping's own daughter reportedly studied at Harvard. So this part of the deal is both economic and diplomatic. But here's the contradiction. While Chinese students get a green light, Indian students are still blocked. Just days ago, Trump's administration halted all new Indian student visa interviews, citing a security review. There is no timeline on when those will resume. So Indian students, despite being the second largest group in the US, are stuck waiting. It's a frustrating moment for families who have spent years preparing only to be left hanging. So now let's come to the very important point of this deal. Why rare earths matter. Let's go back to the rare earths for a second. These materials with names like neodymium, dysprosium, and terbium are essential for modern technology. Your phone, your car, your smartwatch, they are all rely on them. They are also critical for military defense systems, satellites, and AI. And China, being the main global supplier, gives them major leverage. That's why the US has been desperate to secure stable access. This deal helps relieve that pressure, but it's unclear for how long. Some sources say the export licenses are temporary, maybe lasting just 6 months, so the clock might already be ticking. So what's Trump up to? Well, looking at all of this, it's clear Trump is playing a multi-track game. He is tightening rules where he wants to show strength, like against India or Elon Musk. He is making deals where he sees leverage, like with China. The narrative he is trying to build is this: America gets what it needs, keeps power in its hands, and deals with the rest of the world on his terms. Lastly, Trump's China deal is big, no doubt about it. It restores access to rare earths, gives American industries breathing room, and maintains educational diplomacy. but it also shines a light on contradictions. Chinese students in and Indian students out. Tariffs lopsided but approved. Deals happening but relationships strained. And in the middle of it all, Donald Trump is doing what he does best, commanding the conversation. So what do you think? Is this strategic leadership or just headline politics? So what do you think on this? Let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Free Press Journal for more updates.